Alright, back again. So first things first, it's pretty cool to see how the Jazz Weirdos video about the Berkeley faculty jam has been doing pretty well. It's got some comments generating over there, so that's pretty cool to see. People are talking, and I've been interacting a little bit down there. It's been a bit of a slow burn, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Seems like people have been, I guess, looking for the original video and not finding it, and I guess mine just pops up because it's in the title. So yeah, let's move on to today. Let's not stick around for too long. Last week's video was a lot longer than I expected. We don't need to do that again. Today I'm just going to talk about the progress that I've been making. What have I been practicing, right? So I kind of took to heart that old Bruce Lee saying, the I don't fear the man who's practiced 1,000 different kicks. I fear the man who's practiced one kick 1,000 times, or however that goes. And basically, the way that I've been trying to apply that has literally just been, okay, wait, let me just grab a guitar quickly. All right, so I'm not plugged in or anything at the moment, so hopefully you can hear what I'm going to try and show you right now. So what I realized, my vibrato is generally all right, okay? Still got it. Okay, that's not too bad. But I did notice when I was doing the BB King video that when it comes to a note like up here, right, on this string, if I need to hit vibrato on that, my instinct is to go over here, because you'll notice that no matter where I am when I'm doing my vibrato, it's always, I do prefer to, I definitely prefer that downward bend over the upward bend. I mean, you noticed earlier when I did my upward bend with vibrato, it's not quite as powerful as when I do the down. So it should be pretty obvious now what the problem is. When I'm on the high E, of course, that downward vibrato doesn't work. That's not really a good idea, is it? So what I need is right, and that's not something that feels natural to me. My first idea for what a solution to that could be was the sort of I forget what it's called, the kind of vibrato that a violin player would use, where instead of vibrating the string up and down, you would vibrate it, as if you're like gonna slide the note, but you just hold it in that one spot. And it's not bad, especially up here. It works pretty well on the higher notes in particular, but I decided I should probably work on this regular vibrato. See there, I snagged it off the edge of the neck again, because my vibrato instinct, as I said, to pull down. So basically, I kind of resolved myself to sit down and just for as long as I can possibly manage without losing my mind, just. So I actually started off hitting it like that, because that was actually like non-existent. I basically couldn't do it. I had to sit there and just. It is weird, like it's just something that I've neglected for like God knows how many years. So just repeating that over and over as much as I could was really the goal. But what I found is that, it's almost impossible for me to just sit there and do that. I just kind of, I drift off, and then eventually I'll start just kind of. Just jamming out on random little pentatonic things. Or the other thing, I ended up just sort of jamming like a, what was it? And I couldn't tell you what the meaning of the song is. And then, eventually after just, I don't know, a couple of minutes of, and maybe even, moving it around to wherever I could, just kind of, my mind just sort of disappeared and started messing around with little chord progressions, And then this little song just kind of came out. I started, like, I'm really bad with vocal melodies. Melodies in general, but especially vocal. And I started just sort of piecing this melody together over a progression of. And I just kind of started with this. And I. And I. And I. Right. And then I thought, okay, that sounds nice. What should the next little piece sound like? Right. So also I should say that I kind of like experimented with little, obviously different like melodies and different places to start the melody, like, so the first. And right, it starts there. Then where does the next like phrase go? Does it go immediately after that? Like, and I blah blah blah, whatever. But I just couldn't make that work. So what I ended up doing was this. And I couldn't tell you and I couldn't tell you right? So it's starting to build up into a nice little song, right? Nice little like chorus maybe. And I felt like it needed a little bit more. So I tagged on a little extra piece that ended up sounding like this. Here we go. And I couldn't tell you what the meaning of the song is. And I couldn't tell you what the meaning of the song is. And I couldn't tell you what the meaning of the song is. Right? I think that sounds pretty nice. It's completely unlike anything that I've ever written before. Probably not the most unique sounding melody. It has this kind of like familiarity to it that I just can't seem to place. But I think it sounds nice. But yeah, that just sort of like came out of nothing. I wasn't planning on writing a song or anything. I just kind of lost my mind a little bit just from my brain just wouldn't let me do it. But with regards to that exercise, I do wanna get back to it because I mean, even within the first day, I could feel the improvement. And I think what I need to do next is do the same thing, but with other fingers. Because now I've kind of got that under my finger, right? But not quite yet. And the other thing that concerns me is that for me to really pull off this vibrato, I need this guy right over here. I need my thumb as a fulcrum for that, because when I've got my thumb behind the neck, I can't quite get that power. So I think this might also be another exercise. Because when I'm playing a blues lick, I don't think I've got my thumb up here. I'm pretty sure. Although when I'm playing in the middle of the neck, I do tend to. You know what? It might not be a problem. And I kind of feel like B.B. King does that too. Because when I'm picturing him, I'm pretty sure he's got his thumb over when he does the vibrato. So that's something just for me to consider. But yeah, so that's what I'll be working on. Probably develop that little song a bit more. I think it sounds nice. Might lay it down soon. Oh, new Elephant Apostle dropping soon. Probably sometime next month. New podcast on its way very soon. That should be dropping next month too. If anyone's watching this, do the whole engagement thing, like, comment, subscribe, shit. Check out the band, check out Elephant Apostle. Keep your eyes open for the Toxic Twins podcast. And yeah, stick around on the channel. More reaction videos coming soon. I try to alternate, once a month is reaction, once a month is progress. Guess that's it for now then. Peace. Early this morning, when you knocked upon my door, said, hello, Satan. I believe it's time to go. Me and the devil was walking side by side. Me and the devil was walking side by side. I'm going to beat my woman till I get satisfied. She may bury my body down by the highway side. Baby, I don't care where you bury my body when I'm dead and gone. You may bury my body down by the highway side. So my old evil spirit can catch a Greyhound bus and ride.